there, Moonbeams, and welcome to my studio today. I'm super happy that you're here. It's been a busy week, so I've been arting a lot, which has been great. It's so therapeutic for me. You'll have to let me know if that works for you as well. Sometimes I think maybe I escape a little bit too much, maybe into my studio, but it's kind of like my saving grace, I suppose. So I'm super glad to spend a little bit of time with you today as we are kind of working on some flowers today to kind of have in our enchanted garden where the little tea party is going to be. So I have been working on my entrance for Jubilee's gate, like garden gate entrance or whatever. And then I've also kind of been working on like a larger picture of I'll show it to you. It's not colored in or anything yet, just kind of sketching, kind of coming up with some ideas. Maybe there's going to be like a little surprise in the drawing that I'm going to show you. But I thought for us, we could just have fun doodling. I mean, it's not even doodly, but creating some whimsical flowers, and just to show how simple it can be, and how just putting extra lines or dots or like movement, and just you can use a circle template, like so many different ways we can just make creative, fun, and whimsical flowers that maybe we would find in our whimsical garden somewhere. So I hope that you'll join me today. I'm just going to be working in my regular Moonbeam Guild sketchbook today. So I'm going to show you. I will show my face and my art just so you can kind of see both at the same time. So this is what I've been working on. Oh, it's kind of hard to see sometimes. So this is Jubilee's. If you saw, her little mailbox is on our little welcome to the month page that's on Patreon. And then I created this kind of behind it, so it's like you'd be walking into her garden. So then and then there's a little turn back here, and then over here is where the little tea party's gonna be in her yard. So I wanted to show you a couple of other things first really quickly. If you weren't here last week, I wanted to be sure to let you know. We did design teacups last week, and these are the ones that I did. And I wanted to share, I have on Patreon, and it's for anyone who wants to join, free or paid. It's up to you, no worries. But there's like a little invitation, and then I also included a sheet for you to design your own teacup if you wanted to use this, or of course draw your own, whatever you want to do. And then I also have my little sketchbook tracker. And I just have to talk for a minute about how creative and just more like connected maybe to my art that I have been in these last few months since I kind of started the Sketchbook Guild. I started it really just as a way for me to monitor and me to like be accountable to beginning a sketchbook practice. I've been doing art for reliably, if you will, for the last 9 years or so, 10 years. But I've always loved art, but I've never had a sketchbook practice. It's just been really interesting. So because I started this sketchbook practice, this is how this whole Moonhollow Forest world has kind of come about. And I would have probably never had it had I not, it just one thing's led into another. I had the Cosmic Garden prompt, and then I came up with Jubilee, and then now we have this little Jubilee. She's this adorable mushroom, and she's so cute and welcoming, and she makes me happy. So I just wanted to share these with you and let you know they're free if you would like to track your sketchbook practice as well. Of course, no pressure ever. And then this page ended up turning out, I really like this little magical, mystical, celestial, if you will, cup, because if you've been here before, that's my jam. But I ended up kind of turning it into even like a little bit of it's not really a journal page, but I included like a moon tea recipe. It's hard to see it because it's in gold. I think you can maybe see it there. And then I wrote a little bit about my favorite tea is peppermint tea. And so I just wrote about what peppermint offers. If you're like magically inclined, can offer, it enhances clarity, abundance, confidence, and motivation. And it's a symbol of renewal and resilience. And it's also used to clear negative energies. I like to like burn peppermint as well. So yeah, but I love how the smoke turned out, and the juxtaposition of the two cups is also something that I found interesting, because they both represent me, right? Like, because none of us are one thing, and I'm very, you know, like magical, mystical, like all that, but I'm also like bubbly, and you know, it's interesting. The same kind of thing kind of happened with my fairies. I've talked about that before as well. But I also wanted to show you, I'll show you my little drawing I've been creating. I'm not done like adding flowers and stuff, which is perfect because we're going to design some today. But this is like the little clearing, and then there's trees and mushrooms and everything. And this little guy here, you'll see him a little bit better. This is Xander, and he's a hedgehog, and he's roughly inspired by my teenage son, who, you know, doesn't have time for his mother. So Xander has headphones on like all the time. So he's just a new character that's going to kind of be introduced this month, and he'll be joining us at our tea party. So I'm excited about that. And then I wanted to share with you another cute drawing. I think I shared a little bit of it before, but if you haven't been here, if you weren't here last week, I talked about Skittles. And her name is spelled, I decided today, because we don't need a copyright or whatever. It's Skittlz, Skittles. Okay. But she is like the amazing, fun, hilarious, like skittling, like you've been skittled was what my friend Tina, she's like, oh my gosh, you've been skittled. And now it's like in the lore of Moonhollow Forest. But she spreads glitter everywhere she goes. She doesn't even always mean to. She's just glitter. Like I feel like it just comes out of her feathers. Glitter, glitter, glitter. So I drew her as she's just like a whimsical bird, and I just love her so much. But today I decided to add boots, like there's like little rain boots or whatever, but then I put little containers of glitter like on her boot, and then this one's like a little bag. I don't know, I'm just going for it. I'm just embracing the whole thing. I just think she's so fun, and she makes me smile, and I feel like that's kind of what we're supposed to be doing, right? Smiling and having fun. And I also wanted to share on Sunday's video I will be posting. It will be a full tutorial of me coloring this little guy, which is also funny because if you've been here before, I was kind of calling him Sushi. But as I've learned, or as Moonhollow Forest has evolved, and I've been inspired by characters, but if it's characters that I used a reference, even if I have permission to use a reference, I can show it to you, like all that stuff. If I end up deciding that I want them to become a part of the lore, or, you know, that they live there, belong there, then I'm recreating some of the previous drawings, because I'm listening to who the character is and designing them about like the story of who they are. So this is not Skittles. This is just a funny, adorable, fantastic fish whom I love, who was skittled. That's why he has, I'll show you if you can see it, he has glitter. So he could have still visited, that's fine. But I was thinking, I was like, I really want there to be a sushi. That's the name of the fish. So I've been, this week I've been taking some time, and I designed a new little fish, and his name is Sushi. And here he is. And I'll show him to you after I color him too, but just a little sneak peek. If you watch the live, you'll have to let me know. And then also Flicker is a dragon that I drew back in May. And, you know, I had each month I set up a theme and then prompts, and I was like, I want to draw fairies, I want to draw a dragon, like I want to draw all these things. But then through each thing, drawing or whatever happened, Jubilee is what kind of started it. Things started to evolve, and then this world came about. And so Flickr was also not my own creation, right? Like I used references, and I was like, I want to create my own, but I'll show you Flickr in case you have not been here before. And I don't know if I showed you this either. I'll show you this in a minute. Let me try to stay on task. My brain is like bing, bing, bing. Every which way. I'm sure I'm not the only one. Okay. So this was Flickr. And I love the idea of the fairies having companions. So I was like, oh, but the more I sat with it, the more, because I have a whole story for these little guys. And this just didn't fit, and I wanted him to be who he is. So I've redesigned him as well, and we'll be working on him. So I'm going to show you him now. And oh my gosh, so he loves pastries, and so he has a little cupcake. But he has like his eyebrow raised, and he's got crazy hair, and he has crazy hair because he allowed Skittles and Echo, which is the bat, to give him a makeover. So his hair is going to be colorful, and it's going to have glitter in it. But he keeps getting pastries that show up all the time around him, and he's like, is there like a magical portal that like drops pastries by him? Because he doesn't know where they're coming from all the time, but he has a smile because he loves pastries. So anyways, that's kind of, whereas all the villagers, or not villagers, but all the people that live there sneak him pastries, usually from Jubilee's house, because she's always baking. So that's a little bit of the lore behind all that. And then I want to show you one more thing, and then we'll dive in, because I can't remember if I actually ever showed, I think I might have my sea corn, because I ended up finishing it off camera from a couple of weeks ago. But this is her, and I struggled. I think I did share her, but just in case, I love her so much, and she is my own design, but very much inspired by a few different other pictures that I had seen, but I kind of designed her. So I love how she turned out, but she was a real struggle, and I tell you, I almost abandoned her several times. So I'm glad I didn't, because I think part of it was just, these are colors I don't work with all the time, like the corally colors. If you've been here, I like to work with a lot of blues and purples and maybe like some dark greens and things. So this was a little bit outside of my comfort zone, and I think my brain was like, what are you doing? Like, why are you using these colors? And I kept fighting it, but I stuck with it. I think it took me about a week to do, and the scales took me forever. But that being said, she's adorable. Her name is Coral, and I love her. So moving right along, we'll go to the flowers. Let's see here. Yeah, I have just one drawn, but I do have a page where I created some already, and I'm gonna pop it up on the screen. I may take my face down and leave these up. I'm here by myself right now, so there's nobody watching, so I can't really ask, hey, would you rather see me or see this? But sometimes people do like a little bit of a reference. I'm going to be drawing some of these again, but some I'm going to draw fresh ones as well. So that's over there. And then I wanted to show you a couple of other times. I have lots of drawings of flowers, but a lot of them are like more realistic, I guess, if you will, from like my watercolor classes and stuff like that. So I wanted to show how I've just made some really fun doodle pages. This was really fun. I just took watercolor and made little pools of water and then dropped in watercolor paint. And so then I went back in with liners and kind of gave little oh, what word am I looking? Details and things like that. So that was kind of a fun page. I'm not using watercolors today. I'm simply using my pencil, basically. And then this, I wanted to show you, this is actually the drawing that's on the thumbnail. But I drew it and traced over it with an Elegant Writer, and I wanted to take this opportunity just to show you something. I love the Elegant Writer. So I drew this using the Elegant Writer as well. And the first time I ever did a drawing kind of like this was actually inspired by Karen Campbell. I talk about her all the time, check her out. But I wanted to show you the difference because both of these are created with this tool, but the amount of water you use is what makes the difference. So I took this one that I did today and I just put water all over it, and this is also just like regular sketchbook paper. This is actually watercolor paper, so that makes a difference as well. But just to show you, I mean, it's so fun. If you just have to be careful with the amount of water that you use. I do have a couple of tutorials on the Elegant Writer on my page, so I'll have to show you. Or I can put those add those to the end of the video. Anyways, I just noticed that the video was stalling for a second, so I wanted to make sure it was okay. Okay, so I just wanted to kind of show you that, but these are like super fun and whimsical flowers. Like these were just done with a circle template. So once you can draw simple shapes, but then when you go in and add all the little details and stuff, it kind of starts to pop off the page. This one was really fun as well, where I used, I think I used regular watercolors, and then I used metallic watercolors over it. You can kind of see the shimmer, I hope. But yeah, so these are just super quote unquote simple, if you will. They're just whimsical, and I feel like this is a forest and a garden, and it's supposed to be whimsical. So I was like, hey, let's just draw some cutesy dootsy whimsical flowers. And I have my circle and my oval templates because they're super fun ways you can use these to make it even easier. So I thought I would show you those as well. So I'm going to change my screen again to where I have I'll leave it up for a little bit, just my little doodles, not doodles, but flowers as well, so you can see those for right now. And then we'll kind of go from there. I keep trying to check the lighting. It's always an issue. Always, always, always. Hopefully it's okay. Okay. So you could do it as where you do kind of like what's up on the screen, where you have it be like a setting where you'll see the stems and they're all kind of overlapping, or you could just sit down and make a little circle, little circle, little circle, little circle, and then just draw all kinds of little flowers that way. I think I'm going to go ahead and kind of do a similar vibe to what's on the screen, but like I said, I think I might change some of the flowers and add some other ones that I have, because I thought that would be fun. So we'll go ahead and I'm going to try to use a little bit of a darker, maybe that'll help. Oops, sorry. Maybe that kind of washes it out, I think. Okay, a little bit of a darker lead, so that way hopefully you'll be able to see what I'm doing. But I think I'm gonna go ahead, because I'm gonna start with some of the bottom stuff first, and then that kind of goes against my rule. I always think you should start with your largest elements first, and you can kind of be thinking about your composition, which is what I just talked about a minute ago. So I think I will go ahead and add a couple of the larger flowers as well. I do really like, it's up on the screen, but this one right here, so I think I might redraw that one. And sometimes I like to kind of map out the shape first, so it's kind of like a U, kind of almost. Let me see if I can. I was going to try to zoom. Oh, there we go. It might go too far. I'm going to try to zoom in for you. Oh, there we go. Okay. Hopefully that's okay. But it's almost kind of like a bowl or a U shape. So it's nice to kind of just map it in first so you kind of have an idea of where you're at. And then you can start adding in some of the petals. And just, you can start loose, because if you want to erase it, if it's like super hammered in there, it's super hard to erase. So it's good just to almost kind of give yourself a place setting, if you will. And they're supposed to be, you know, like I said, just kind of loose and stuff. So I don't usually, whenever I'm making these kinds of flowers, because they're not necessarily realistic, obviously, or even necessarily based in reality at all. So I try not to like overthink it too much. I like to have them overlapping sometimes. Kind of flick out there. And then you can kind of be able to see, it's the wrong one. That was this one up here. Okay. And then there's like a little pieces coming from the inside of it that are kind of hanging down a little bit. So those are just super, super easy. Almost like little rectangles almost, but I make them have kind of a little bit of a squiggly edge so they're not just straight. And then those can have little, like almost little danglies too. So this one, I would have like a longer one. And then these could have just a few as well. And you could make them different lengths or whatever. And then we can give it a little stem, a little bit of a stem here. I kind of liked the idea of having a couple that like went over like this instead of having them all just come from the ground and come up. I feel like that's a nice kind of change to the composition as well. The one on the screen, I actually have this one going this way, but I think I'm actually going to have it go this way. So I'll have the stem kind of go behind this flower. Like that. That could be interesting. And again, once I kind of have a page full of flowers, then I can bring some of those in to like the forefront and try to draw some maybe smaller in to the background of the scene where you're seeing the little tea party and everything. So it could be really cute. Plus, this is just a super fun way to like turn off your brain and not have to, you know, get overly, what word am I looking for? We can just turn off our brains and just be thinking of doodly stuff and not have to think about stuff that's super serious. So I think I'm going to draw a little bit of a different flower over here, but I'm going to put 3 really big ones in. So this will be my third like really large one, and then I will put in some of the other ones that are a little bit smaller, and then I'm going to put like some mushrooms and stuff down here too, I think. So like I said before, it won't be exactly like up on the screen. And that's a-okay. Yesterday I went into a different town near me where there's a Japanese market, and they have like anime, like Hello Kitty, like all kinds of like little statues and like, you know, like weird, interesting drinks, and actually it was really, cool to go there. There's a place I go that's on a much larger scale up in Chicago, so it was kind of neat to check it out. But I had gotten like a package of ramen, and I just thought it said chicken and that it was spicy because I like spicy. Well, it was like cheesy chicken or something. Anyway, my son made it this morning, or made it this afternoon, or this evening, I guess, at this point. And he texted me, he's like, do you want the rest of this ramen? He's like, I don't even know what to say. I was like, okay. So I was like, okay, you know, so I went up and I grabbed it from him and I tried it. Oh my God. My mouth is still on fire. And I ate it, I didn't even finish it, but like an hour ago. My mouth is still like, oh my gosh, it is so friggin' spicy. It's a very interesting flavor. It was good, but I feel like you need to add like maybe some shrimp or something else to kind of offset the absolute ridiculousness of the amount of spice. But I will go back and go back to it because there was some really fun stuff there. Actually, I'll show you. They had these adorable erasers. I love Kuromi so much. These are just a little erasers or little flip-flops. I don't think I can even use them to erase anything. It's just, they're just too freaking cute. But that was a fun little adventure yesterday. They had other flavors, and that was just the one that I kind of grabbed of the ramen. So I was like, well, how about this week coming up, or this weekend or whatever, we'll just make regular like ramen where we just kind of make our own and just use the noodles instead of the actual little like, it comes with like a little sauce packet and like a little oil packet or whatever. But yeah, it was, boy howdy, spicy. This flower looks absolutely ridiculous right now. It looks like Patrick Star if he was like on crack or something. Oh my goodness. It's challenging myself. Challenge accepted and maybe failed. I'm not sure yet. We'll see. The thumbnail, if you saw the thumbnail, me sitting in front of it's my blackberry bramble at this point. Absolutely ridiculous at how like overgrown and crazy it is right now. I planted it, one little plant. I want to say I think it's been 4 years now, because if you're like me, time just goes by and you just don't even know. And it was one little plant, and now this freaking thing. There's like, because what happens is it does like an offshoot, and then that offshoot will, if it goes into the ground, then it establishes itself in the ground, and then you have a whole new like plant, and then it creates offshoots and offshoots and offshoots. So I've like been twisting them around each other to try to kind of keep them somewhat contained. But boy howdy, I will definitely be trimming that back after this harvest season. I've already been collecting them. They're so good, and there's so many. I saw a squirrel and a bird out there eating some earlier today, which I was okay with. There's plenty I can share. They're good though. I've been eating them every morning with my yogurt. Gosh, this is just, whew, crazy. That's okay. I need to stop saying that. I feel like I always say that. is like a long, kind of a long flower. And again, I will be coloring these in at some point as well. So right now I'm just, as I said, just kind of creating some flowers. Just having some fun. So let's do a couple with the little templates. So I like to kind of overlap some sometimes and make them a little bit of like different sizes. So I don't want to have a huge one. So maybe I'll make this be kind of the biggest size, but I'm gonna kind of go over that stem. And then I can make one behind it. Maybe put like, I always like things in odds, so maybe I'll do 5 little circles. This one I'll put, oops, so it would be behind, and then maybe I'll just put one kind of up here. And then you can just add like, I like to add just like a little nubbin on top. I don't know what it is. You could also, out of the top of that, you know, make it have little swirlies coming out or something. Because again, they're not really based in reality, unless you want them to be, which is totally fine as well. Kind of make a little bit of a stem just to kind of give yourself an idea of where things would kind of shoot from, I guess, if you will. Okay, that works. That's good for now. And then I also like to use my little oval template, and you can make some fun little ones with that as well. Maybe I'll make one down here. You can use different sizes within the same shape, or the first one, then go down a little bit to a little bit of a smaller one. That almost looks like a peacock feather. And then maybe make another one, but even a little bit smaller. Like that. And I'm not bringing all the stems all the way down. I did that one, but I'm not going to keep doing that because I want to be able to put stuff down here as well. Oop, sorry. This one's cracking me up. Probably have to, I think it got a little bit crazy back here. A little bit. That's okay. That's a little bit better. That's why it's so much better to kind of draw the shape first, kind of like an overall shape. go back to me and my art. There we go. Okay. And let's see, what else do I want to do? I'm going to do some mushrooms, I think. Draw some mushrooms. I'm going to put this here because I keep kind of drawing off the edge of the paper. And I don't want it to get onto the other sheet of paper. So let's draw a little mushy mush. You know I like the mushrooms. Draw a large one over here because we can have huge mushrooms if we want to. Yeah, I've been like, I don't know, if you've been here before, or if you've been here for a while, you'll know that I celebrated 8 years sober in June. And ever since then, and before that, kind of leading up to it, I've been doing like a lot of self-reflecting, I guess. And it's been very interesting with that coinciding kind of with this whole sketchbook practice in the guild and how this little world is being kind of created and how it's very, very much based on a community, right? So this little world that I'm building in Moonhollow Forest is this adorable little community. And I think it's like, in a way, you know, I'm kind of creating through my art, like this world that I want to build, if you will. I want to build it with real people too, you know, that's one of the reasons I'm on YouTube, is to meet people like you and be able to create together, learn from each other, all that kind of stuff. So it's been really interesting to kind of look back, and then I've noticed some of the little guys' characters that I've created and how they actually seem like they do represent someone in my life or myself or like a piece of myself. Like I feel like Skittles is very much my outward, extroverted, funny laughs. Like I love glitter. Like I love glitter. I like to wear glitter. I like to use glitter. I use glitter paint all the time. So she's very much a representation of who I am. But then there's also other sides of me, obviously, as I was saying earlier, that we're all not just one thing. But it's like it's become like therapeutic as well. And I don't know. I'm super happy to be allowing myself this time to grow and become a better artist and become a better and more creative person. I'm still teaching classes in person once a month, which is really fun and amazing. I'm actually teaching a whimsical portrait class next weekend, and I love that. But I love the online community because, you know, we're from all different places and all different walks of life, and it's so cool to be able to meet each other that way as well. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful to all of you who show up, who watch my videos, who watch my live replays, who watch my lives when I'm on. Just each and every one of you, I appreciate you so much. You have no idea. So I want to give you a very heartfelt thank you. It means a lot to me. It really does. Being able to do art, I mean, I still have to have another job, but is what makes me happy. It's the thing that feeds it feeds my soul for sure. And we are living in a crazy timeline. So I think we could all use a little bit of help. A little bit of positivity and some whimsy in our lives, I think. So, just saying. And then I think I'm going to put a couple of mushrooms over here as well. I'll make them a little bit different. There's these ones that look like they have little skirts on, kind of. And they have like a lot thinner little stems, and I usually like to put a couple of them together. It's like a little bell or something. I've drawn realistic mushrooms. Like I've sat down and I've drawn mushrooms. But I do like to just kind of make them up, and doesn't have to be a thing. Maybe we'll do some like realistic mushrooms someday. That could be fun. I had left a little message in the comments. When you're watching the replay, you'll have to let me know if you have a favorite flower. I love daisies, and I planted daisies this year. They're right outside my window, and they've been flowering, and they're so pretty. It's my birthday flower for April. Is the daisy. Alright, that's good enough for now. Again, it's one of those where when we're first just drawing something, right, it's flat. There's nothing to it. So it can be like, ew, that's gross. I mean, that's what I do to myself anyway. But then once you start adding color paint or color pencils or shadows or highlights and all that stuff, it all comes to life, and then it totally transforms it into something else. So I shouldn't say never, but I try really hard not to like start freaking out the way something is looking when I barely, even started drawing or adding any details or anything like that. I like to do fun little whimsical, I don't know what. It's like it looks like the thing that keeps turning and turning and turning, and it like makes you so you'd like be hypnotized or something. But I like to make them so they're kind of like little like roses or something. And again, I like to make it seem like some are in front of or behind, just for added interest. That one got a little bit crazy. And then let's see, what other ones do we have? Oh, I do like the dandelion. It's when you first just sketch it, it looks kind of weird, but when you go back in and add, I'll kind of try to add in some of the details too, just so you can kind of see it. But you start with just like a little, it's almost like flat on the bottom. It's kind of like a rainbow, but with a flat bottom. And then so it's kind of like you're looking at a dandelion kind of from the side, when some of the little seeds, I guess is what they are, have kind of already been blown away, I guess. Hopefully that makes sense. And then I just kind of have them shoot out. You don't have to have a ton of these. This would be like I don't know if it, because it's not really it doesn't matter. Anyway, and then you can, like if I was coloring it, I would color it maybe green or whatever color you would want, but then you could go back in with white, like little highlight marker, Posca marker, or even, oh, what is it? Dr. P.H. Martin's white. And then you can go in and make the little, here, I'll make one just off to the side. So I always like to, well, I've got one right here. Where did it go? Oh yeah, it's just kind of hard to see it because it's white. But can you see the little guys? So you have it like that, and then you have just the little, I don't know if it would be the leaves per se, but you have those, but then you go back in and you add, I just like to make them where it'd be like this, and then it's almost like a little bird foot or something, a couple of like W's or something like that. So then that would be like the little seeds that you would blow, but it's looks so much cooler if you do it with white and use like a different color for the flower. It really stands out. So hopefully that kind of makes sense a little bit, hopefully. Maybe that's weird, but so I'm kind of just making it a little bit of a placeholder right now, because I will come back and draw it whenever I color it in a little bit more. And then, let's see. Do some lower things down here. It's just picking some shapes. You can do lots of leaves, you could do tall grass. Whenever I draw something that would be like thyme, I'll do over here just a little sprig. I do it in threes. I don't know if you can see that. And I butt them right up against each other. Usually I start at the bottom. And they're kind of stacked on top of each other, but that's kind of how I draw thyme. Wish we had more time. And I like to, it's funny, I used to like not like hearts very much for some reason. Now I do. So I even draw some of the plants that are just, they literally just look like hearts. Could just be like little leaves. And they could all be kind of connected to each other. Let's see. What else do I have over here on my little sheet? I didn't draw that one flower. You can also just, like how we did these up here, you could just draw like a random, a circle anywhere else. And let's see. Make another U. A little things coming out of that. And then it's like, once you kind of have some of the foundation work in, if you want to call that, have your sketches in, then you can start going in, and if you want to color them in, that's great. And then you can start adding all those details, which will really make them transform just from a flat drawing, obviously. Which I will show you mine after I complete it. Not today, but like you can make it where you just fill it in with lots of little circles. You could make it so you put little circles on the outside. I feel like this is the kind of project, I mean, for me, I'm not totally relaxing into it, obviously, because I'm trying to talk to you as well. But you just, I don't like to use the word doodle necessarily, but you're kind of stretching your imagination and your whimsy, if you will. But then once you establish it, then it's super fun to go in, color it. You can color it one color if you want, go in with acrylic markers, go in with colored pencils, and then you can start adding all those little doodly details. You know, like I added little hearts right here, and you can add more, fun leaves. I do like to do leaves as well. Let's see. Go up like this. You can make it as simple as just putting a couple of little random ovals off of a little branch. It's kind of just to fill your space however much you want it to be filled. And you could come down here and add more to the stem farther down to fill in some of the space down here as well. Like so. So yeah, it's pretty cute, pretty good. Again, it's funny because it just looks, it's just super, it's just flowers is what it seems like, but once you start to bring them to life, then that kind of changes everything, doesn't it? So I did want to tell you that next Thursday we are going to be drawing food, like pastries, little cakes or cookies or little tea cakes and just, little fingery foods and things that you would have at a tea party. That's my idea anyway. And I'm thinking I'm going to kind of make a compilation of maybe some references and put those on Patreon. They'd be free as long as you're a member. And if you wanted to utilize those, or just, you can look pretty much anywhere and look up some food. But then I thought that for those of us who want to participate, I'm going to also have like a tier, like a cake tier thing, pastry tier. I don't know what it's called. It's where the 3 tiers, and then you put all the pretty desserts and stuff. So whoever would want to participate, they can email. Well, you could email me, or you could private message me on my Facebook, which is Moonbeam Jellyfish. Tag me on Instagram, and you can share with me your favorite piece of like food item that you drew, and then I will create a big display of all of our little cakes and cookies and pastries and snacks and stuff. So that's what my plan is for next Thursday. So I appreciate you guys, whoever watches the replay. Thank you again so much for being here and for, showing up for me in this little corner of my internet. And it makes me so much, it just brings me so much joy. And like I said before, I don't know what I would do if I didn't have my art, and I'm so glad that I get to share it with you. And I will see you very soon. There'll be a video on Sunday, and I will be here with you on Thursday after that. Okay? I will see you guys.